I'm here with Frank today. He's one of our performance coaches, and he's going to help me teach you guys the proper way to squat. Now, if you saw the hinge video, this is one of the biggest mistakes that people will make, is confusing hinging with squatting. In a hinge, we're sticking our butt backwards. It's all about the hips going back and forward. With a squat, the hips pretty much are going to drop relatively straight down. The knees are driving out. So if we watch as Frank drops down, good, and coming on up, you can see, notice how the shins have a forward angle to them, much more so than in a hinge. As opposed to when a hinge, the shins stay pretty vertical. And you can see how his butt is dropping relatively straight down. The hips will come back slightly, but not nearly to the degree that they do in the hinge. As he goes down to the bottom, you notice that his chest is up. The angle of his shin and his spine are relatively parallel. Sometimes we'll see people getting out like this. That's going to put a lot of stress into the low back. This is one where I really encourage you to send us videos of your technique so we can look at this with you. This is one exercise, along with the hinging, that people can get hurt if the technique is wrong. So please send us a video so we can check it for you. Now, the progression as you get better with the kettlebell and the goblet position, you can use a dumbbell there as well too, but the progression will be to actually using a barbell, which allows us to put more load on you and actually get a much better strengthening response. So Frank's strong, he's just going to throw this over his head here. Don't try that at home. But you can see with a back squat, he's going to have the bar kind of right along the top of his back of his shoulders, right below the bottom of his neck. His elbows are directly underneath the bar. Sometimes we'll see people flaring elbows out. That'll tend to promote a low back arch, so really keeping those elbows underneath. As he squats down, you'll notice the mechanics are relatively the same. He's driving his knees out, screwing his feet into the ground. Chest still stays up. The mechanics are exactly the same. So if you try to go from a goblet squat into a barbell squat, and you notice that all of a sudden you can't maintain your positions well, that's when we know we have a problem, potentially with core stability, potentially with ankle mobility. Again, whenever you're making transitions, always please send us videos so we can make sure you're doing this correctly. If you watch the screwing your feet in video, if you have not, go back and watch that. But if you have and you remember how he's driving his knees out, knees are not dipping inwards towards each other. He's got a very strong base as he's squatting. So hopefully this helps you to understand how to squat correctly. If you have any questions at all, please let us know, and we'd love to help you in terms of improving how you're doing it.